Hey everybody, and welcome to another episode of Homegrown. I am Stephen Holland with Property Champions Real Estate, and I'm joined today by Mr. Seth Brooks.
How you doing?
He is running for circuit judge.
That's correct.
This year, and so we wanted to sit down with you, Seth. Thank you for spending some time with us. Tell us a little bit about yourself.
Well, I was originally born in Birmingham, Alabama. I'm the son of Dr. Roland and Kimberly Brooks. We moved to Dothan when I was 5. My dad got a job up here at Flowers Hospital. He's been practicing up here for over 30 years. Went to Houston Academy, graduated 2004. Then I went on through college, graduated from Auburn 2011. While I was at Auburn, I was a firefighter, part of the Air Force ROTC, Civil Air Patrol, was first lieutenant, and then the Community Emergency Response Team. Decided, had to figure out what I want to do next. Did the LSAT, went to law school, and that's where I met my wife, Jordan Reeves Brooks, who parents are Tim and Wendy Reeves of Hunts. Went through law school and decided we want to come back here. Interned at the district attorney's office with Doug Valeska after my first and second summers. He promised me a job after my first summer, and called him up when I got done taking the bar, and he still had the job waiting on me. So we decided we were going to come back here. We've been living here ever since. We've got 3 beautiful children. Daughter is about to be 3, and 2 5-month-old twins. We got 2 dogs, and we just enjoy being in Houston County.
Awesome. So tell us a little bit, about what you currently do and what more of your experience is.
Well, my entire legal career for the past 7.5 years, I've been assistant district attorney. That includes prosecutions, everything from traffic tickets up to capital murder. I was actually involved in the longest murder jury trial in Houston County history.
Oh, wow.
And he's currently sitting on death row, and I argued to the jury to give him death, and they agreed, and then argued to the judge, and he agreed. So I've done that. I've also done the civil side of a bunch of the state work. I've done some asset forfeitures. I've done some post-conviction petitions for relief. I've also, during my first year, I was interning, I wrote a brief to the Alabama Court of Civil Appeals on a forfeiture issue in which they agreed with me. So okay. I've done a lot in 7.5 years, a lot of court experience.
So a lot of experience with some challenges you face.
Absolutely. You don't know what's coming in every day you go into work, and it's kind of every time you see on your phone or the news or the paper, hey, this new crime happens, kind of, oh boy, let's see what's going on next.
Right. And tell us a little bit about circuit judge and that position you're running for. What does a circuit judge do?
Well, circuit judge, they hear all felony cases. They'll hear any accompanying misdemeanors, violations that go with it. They also hear custody disputes, divorce disputes, as well as lawsuits, civil lawsuits. So they cover the entire gamut.
Gotcha.
They cover everything, but the majority of what our circuit judges hear in this county are criminal cases. And circuit judges are also the only judges in the state of Alabama that hear jury trials.
Okay.
So they are a trial judge.
Okay. And as that circuit judge, what do you think the judge's main duty is?
It's a good question because, number one, the judge is going to hear the arguments from the attorneys, whether it be in a motion hearings where you're just arguing laws and facts as to why something should go in your favor, in front of the judge making a legal ruling. Right. They also hear bench trials where the judge is what we call the finder of fact and the gatekeeper of the law. Mm-hmm. They make legal rulings, but also they determine whether liable, not liable, guilty, not guilty, and so on. At a jury trial, they are the gatekeeper of the law. They make decisions based upon the law. Objections are made. They make their rulings. But as far as being the finder of fact, guilty, not guilty, that rests solely within the jury. So as Judge Anderson likes to say, this is the old 3-legged milk stool, and that is the judge, the jury, and the parties involved.
Okay. And with that experience that you mentioned, what do you think makes you the ideal candidate?
For me, as far as being a trial judge, which is part of the circuit judge duty, I have tried my 71st jury trial about a month ago.
Oh, wow.
So I've been practicing 7.5 years. I've tried over 70 jury trials. I've been involved in over 10,000 cases. I've had to make legal arguments in both criminal and civil matters. And plus, I've been in there. I know how to handle juries, courtroom, just learning from some of the best judges in the state. I practice in front of all of them. Right. And every time you go in there, it's a different learning experience. So 10,000 cases, that's over 10,000 learning experiences.
Absolutely. And, being a prosecutor, tell us what kind of led you to be a prosecutor instead of maybe a defense attorney or other area of the law?
Well, if you look at my sign, it says committed to public service.
Mm-hmm.
And I've been a firefighter, done the community emergency response team, the Civil Air Patrol. I love doing public work.
Right.
And in our circuit where we're at, we don't have public defenders per se.
Mm-hmm.
We have the state attorney, the district attorneys, we're public employees. Our public defender system is set up where it's a contract. So it's someone who runs their own private practice, but they have a contract to do that as well. What got me to work in the district attorney's office is also my first year at law school. Doug Valeska came and talked to us.
Mm-hmm.
Anyone around here who's familiar with Doug, there's something you can always pick up from him, that is he has a passion for helping victims. So I asked the intern after my first year, came down here, I saw the work that was done. I wanted to come back a second year, and he promised me a job, and I came back, started working, and kept going. So it's all I've known. Does that mean that I would not go into defense, criminal defense or any civil work? Absolutely not. I would be open to it. It's just this is the path where I'm at now. So
I understand. And with that being said, how do you think prosecutor background, defense attorney, or other area legal field, how do you think that would differ in being a circuit judge?
Well, at the heart of it is our backgrounds. They give us, all different learning lessons. We all come from different backgrounds, different experiences, and that all gives us different outlook on life in different scenarios that happen. With the district attorney's office, one thing that I've really learned is, empathy, especially with the victims and their families, having to deal with that, and that, justice needs to be sought for the victims and their families. However, that being said, a judge's job is only to ensure that, justice is sought after a conviction. It's not our job to determine guilty or not guilty unless it's a bench trial type thing. You have to take into account, what does the law say? We always hear this pro-prosecution, pro-defense, pro-plaintiff. Me, in my belief, a judge should be right down the middle. Right. We're neutral. We hear the arguments presented. If it's a bench trial, we have to make the factual ruling and the legal rulings. But if it's not, if it's a jury trial where that factual finding is outside of our hands, it's not our job to do that. I think it sets me up especially good because as a prosecutor, you're in court all the time, all of the time. So I think it's got me ready for that, being in court, seeing how court is ran. But as far as saying, would I be pro-prosecution, pro-defense, or vice versa, I don't believe a judge should fall in that category. They should always be right down the middle.
Understood. And just, I guess, a personal question. As far as the judicial system is, do you see a need for reform or change of any kind, improvement?
Something that I always tell juries when we're striking a jury, the voir dire process, and I get this from judges who've been on the bench, and it's true. Our system is the best in the world.
Right.
Is it perfect? Absolutely not.
Right.
Absolutely not. There's always areas that need to be improved upon, areas that do need reform and change. Would I agree that there needs to be some reform? Yes. Can I tell you exactly every bit of it that needs to be reformed? No. And I don't think anyone else could either, because unless you've done all of it, all the time, you're still learning day to day. However, as far as the reform goes as well, that's also something that is outside, I would say, of the hands of the circuit judge. That's something left up to Montgomery.
Okay.
The people in Montgomery, your elected officials up there. But yeah, there are things that need to be reformed. I think there are also, when it comes to sentencing, things of that nature. I mean, we have what we have to follow, the guidelines, the regulations. Does everybody need to go up the road to prison if they're found guilty? Absolutely not. Some people need a good, swift kick in the rear end. They get it together. There are those people that don't deserve to come out from under the jail.
Right.
As a prosecutor, having to make our recommendations when asked, any recommendations from the state, we've had to learn to sift through those. Hey, maybe this is somebody who needs help, who needs a hand up, versus this is somebody who doesn't need to be free again, or needs to go away for as long as they can under the law. And do we get it all right? Do we get it right every time? Absolutely not.
Right.
But we try our best, and I think having that experience helps for that as well.
Tell us maybe What do you think separates you or differentiates you from other candidates running for this position?
My experience in the courtroom, hands down. I've been there, I've done it. In this race, I've been practicing the least amount of years, but my courtroom experience speaks for itself. And that's where I believe I really differentiate myself. This position requires somebody who knows what they're doing in a courtroom, because that's where they work.
And some things that you would like to accomplish.
What I would like to accomplish, just to do the best that I can, honestly. If elected this spot, it is to do the best that Seth Brooks can do. I've met people on the campaign trail who said, man, if you get that job, that's some big shoes to fill. Judge Anderson not running again. And I tell them, absolutely. I said, that's why I don't plan on trying to fill his shoes.
Yeah.
I plan on bringing mine because I want to do the best that I can do. I'm not always going to get it right. I'm going to get it wrong sometimes. We all do it. But just to do the best that I can do.
And plans for being involved in the community.
If you read through my campaign card or go to my website, you'll see all the different organizations I'm involved in, whether it's Masons, the Shriners, Dothan Young Professionals, the VFW Auxiliary, Hughes County Bar Association on the Philanthropy Committee, Dothan Rotary. This community, it means a lot to both me, my wife, and our families. Both of our families are here. We are very, very rooted in this community in the Wiregrass area. And win or lose, I'm still going to be living here.
Right.
And still want to be helping everybody as much as I can.
Well, if you want to tell everybody when the election is and how they can find you, show their support, and get out there and vote.
May 24, 2022, Houston-Henry County Republican primary election. That is when the general primary is. If there's a runoff, it'll be about a month later in June. You can check out our website, www.votesethbrooks.com, or on Facebook, Seth Brooks 4, Circuit Judge, Place 4. We've got those social media outlets. If you'd like to go on, like and follow the page. If you'd like a sign, we can make that happen. Just send us a message through there, as well as any campaign contributions can be sent through the website. So the best way to show your support is, go to the ballot, make sure you vote.
Always.
And at the end of the day, I tell everybody this, no matter who you vote for, just show up and vote.
That's right, absolutely. Well, Seth, I really thank you for sharing your time with us today. Definitely everyone get out there and vote. Use that right, exercise it. It's a great thing to have as Americans.
Absolutely.
And until next time, y'all, have a good one.